Welcome. I'm Dr. Stacy Vaught, and I'd like to come alongside your path to the classroom. Whether you're a teacher in learning, you're a new teacher in the classroom, or you've been a classroom teacher and you just want to go back and remember, why did I become a classroom teacher? I would love to take this journey and share the experiences that I have had and how it has allowed me to continue to be excited and passionate about being a teacher. So, you want to be a teacher. You've seen all over, probably YouTube, videos that say, what I wish I would have known before I became a classroom teacher. Well, I'm here today to challenge that thinking. Move to that growth mindset and say, here is what I get to know because I want to be a classroom teacher. These are the things that classroom teachers hear as challenges. But once you are a teacher, you know that these important details are the reason and the passion behind teaching. So we're going to talk about things like know your why, classroom management, understanding your students and how they learn, assessment, the dreaded assessment, building relationships with your students, and last but not least, bringing back the fun in learning. So let's get started. You've decided, I want to be a teacher. With this comes much passion and excitement about this field. This field can be powerful, it can be rewarding, and it can be a challenge. Yes, I said it. That is why knowing your why and the reason that you decided you want to join the ranks of teachers out there, shaping, building, and guiding students towards success is so important. As part of your Know Your Why, you may have had a teacher that influenced you as a kid, or you may have watched teachers along the way and said, I can do that. Or maybe you just like standing up in front and barking out rules or bossing students around. Whatever the decision that you have that made you want to be a classroom teacher, keep that why and remember it on those most challenging days. One bit of advice: when you become a classroom teacher, or if you're already in the classroom, get out a binder. Write on there positive notes. And anytime a parent, a teacher, or colleague, administrator writes you a positive note, store that in the binder. And on those days that are most challenging, where you are questioning, should I continue being a teacher? Pull that binder out, read those notes, and remember your why. The next big important piece is classroom management. Some see classroom management as your biggest challenge. The behaviors, the routines, making sure your students are safe and trusting you in the classroom. Those can be challenges, but they can also be your biggest rewards. When you take those students who are unmotivated, who are having challenges staying focused in the classroom, and you change that trajectory where those students are engaged and they're excited and they see the fun in learning, you made that difference. And the classroom management that you have provided has allowed those students to thrive. So as we continue on your path to the classroom, I am going to be sharing tips and tricks on best practices for classroom management, how to establish your classroom to be safe and secure for your students, and all of those important to-dos or what you should knows to best build classroom management will be coming your way. The next important thing is understanding your students and building relationships. These two kind of go hand in hand. Relationships are at the center of what you do and who you are as a teacher. When you take the time to build relationships with your students, you understand what they need in order to have the best learning outcomes that they can have. One of my biggest aha moments in the classroom was my Monday morning community time. And every Monday morning, my students would come to the carpet and every student would get a chance to share one thing they wanted about their weekend. Sometimes their weekends were very exciting, to say the least. This then leads right into preparing learning, instruction for the students, and building it based on their needs. Once you've built that relationship with your students and you know who they are, how they learn, and how to best approach that learning, you can take the curriculum that you're provided, oftentimes by the district, oftentimes with a script that tells you exactly how to teach it, and you can mold that into the instruction that best supports your students. That's right, curriculum and instruction are two separate things. So as we continue on this path to the classroom, we're going to show you how curriculum and assessment can work hand in hand, and how your ability to understand your students, bleed that into your instruction, can provide the best outcomes that you want for your students. Speaking of outcomes, assessment. Ooh, I said it. There's that word, assessment data. You as a classroom teacher are going to hear those words daily. What is the assessment that you're going to do to ensure the students know the material? What does your assessment data look like? We're going to meet. Please bring your assessment data. Those words, in some cases, can be a challenge for teachers. But I want to once again ask you to change that mindset to say, assessment is what helps me better the outcomes for my students. Assessment allows you to look at how your students are doing, soaking in your learning, but it also allows you to look at how you are doing with your instruction, with your teaching. What I want you to be able to do is take assessment as your opportunity to self-reflect and decide, have I done my part as a teacher to prepare my students with the learning? If the assessment data isn't showing that, then it's your time to go back to the table and make some changes. That could mean better relationships with your students, more observations of their unique needs and how they learn, and more fun back into the learning experience. And that is how we are going to round out all of those reminders of why you want to be a teacher, bringing the fun back to learning. So as we continue on this path to the classroom and we dive into the importance of classroom management, into the importance of building relationships and knowing your students, embedding that into instruction that meets their needs, your assessment outcomes can help you identify how to bring the fun back into learning. And that can look like motivating the unmotivated. It can look like play-based learning, hands-on learning, exploration. Have you heard those terms? If not, stick with us on this path to the classroom as we dive into some of the most important ways to bring fun back into learning. Thank you for remembering that teaching is more than just what I should know before I go into teaching. It is truly about why I want to be a teacher. And if you find this as your path to the classroom, I hope that you can share all that you've learned with others too.